Hi, ladies and gentlemen, whoever may be watching. This is kind of a controversial discussion that I wanted to post in my journal for myself and for anyone else that it may help. This is on narcissism, and it's for those that have been inflicted or been touched by a person with narcissism. I'm not going to get into the book definitions. I am not schooled in any type of, well, I'm not schooled in narcissism, but I'm versed in it. Let me just put it that way. I wanted to just talk to you about what some of the warning signs are. So that if you are dating someone or in a relationship with someone, you may can identify this person and look at it from a little bit different angle. Let me just start out by saying that a person with narcissism, there are two different kinds. One is extremely dangerous, and one is not as dangerous, as in they're not going to probably not going to kill you, but they can be extremely dangerous, and they can snap and they can kill you and anyone that you love. They will do anything to hold on to you, to manipulate you, control you. And the way they begin is they hide themselves. They are extremely charming. They study you. They study their subjects, figure out what you're all about and what you want and what you need and what you like to do. And they critique themselves to mirror that image. Like, you know, the Lord is important to me in my life. Going to church is very important to me in my life. My relationship with the Lord. And so the first thing he ever did was ask me to church. Okay. And actually that's the first person that ever invited me to church. The first man. It was always me going to church and the man sitting at home or whatever. So that spoke to me, and I thought, okay, maybe I need to look into this. And, you know, we'd been talking on the phone for quite some time. We lived 300 miles away. We had mutual friends. And I also reached out as I started thinking about dating this person. I reached out to people that we both knew, people that I respected and thought a lot of. And would ask questions, you know, about this particular person. And I was trying to get the background on him. I couldn't figure out how we grew up in the same city and I never met him. But we all knew the same people. Okay. A lot of people knew that I was dating him and was very quiet in terms of they didn't say anything until it was over. Even the ones that I personally went out, sought after, and asked. I do know that people don't want to get involved with another person's relationship, but I would, for those of you that are viewing and know somebody that's going through something, you may give them a hint. It might help. Like I would say, what do you know about this guy? Is there something I don't know? Say, yeah, I think you need to research. I could not believe the people that I knew I did not know knew him. And then after I got away, I escaped, it started coming out. They would either tell a mutual friend or a family member. And some of them flat out told me. Thankfully, I did have, my uncle married a girl who she's actually a year younger than I am, a year or two. When one of the times that he left me, he left me like 24 times in the first year. She made the remark that he was crazy, and she tells me a story that I had already known about. But by then I was so far into it, I couldn't get rid of him. When you are married, whether he's on your lease or not, you cannot keep them out unless they have physically harmed you in some way. And a narcissist normally does not physically harm you with their hands. They emotionally abuse you. They verbally abuse you emotionally and verbally. They manipulate you. They mind warp you, or they try to. They mind beat you, in my case. When 1 month to the day after we married, we had only been living together for 5 weeks at that time. He could not hide his insanity, and it scared me so bad. I just got in the car and snuck out and left town. um, and was petrified. And they can't hold it together for usually more than 2 weeks at a time, or this particular person couldn't. They will manipulate, they will charm the socks off of you, they will do everything they can. But there are usually warning signs that we try to, I was of the type of person, I'm trying to give somebody grace, I'm trying to be forgiving because I had been hurt in my past and I was very unforgiving, very hard. So I was trying to be forgiving, trying to give grace, which did not work in my favor at this time. But from that day on that he did that, I was distraught. I was tore up. I was very upset. I wanted him gone. And over the next several months, he just hurt me so bad. I would just cry. I mean, just cry. My heart was broke. I could not believe that someone could actually treat me this way. They manipulate you. They go after what is strong and what is sure and what is good. And they want to take all those traits that they come after you for and destroy them. They want to destroy them and take them away, tell you they're bad, tell you you're bad, everything you do is wrong. I mean, literally, if you say right, they're going to say left. And the next time it would be left and it would be right. I mean, there is no right answer with these people. You can jump every hoop under the sun and never make them happy. To the point that it comes down to, I got very quiet. That's how I survived. I was afraid to leave my son alone with him. I didn't leave anybody alone with him ever. And he had his moments, he would be good to people, but we all knew it was just surface. And I knew what was going to set him off. I knew when my timing was up. I knew we always called it the chopping block hour. It was awful to live. I didn't want anybody else to deal with that. I didn't want my family to deal with that. I kept him away from everybody else. I was thankful first it was hurtful when he didn't want to celebrate any holidays, and then I was thankful he didn't want to celebrate any holidays. Because he not only wanted to destroy me, he wanted to destroy everyone I loved and everything that I loved. If it was precious to me, he broke it or got rid of it. Down to an animal. You had to watch an animal. But he knew when it came to my kids, I will slit your throat. You understand? I mean, like, they were off limits. My parents were off limits. And he kept quiet about that up until a few weeks before I left town. But anyway, I had been in a car accident. I was in school full time. I had a grandchild I was trying to keep as much as I could. I had a child at home I was raising. It made it very difficult for me financially to work. So it made me hard on me financially to leave him. I finished school, and the day I graduated school, he moved me back 300 miles and then left me a week later. Okay? And I was glad. I just didn't want him to come back. I just wanted him gone. He left me at least, oh God, so many times. And then finally, the way I survived is I pulled within myself and I played the game. I just was quiet, and I did everything I could. I jumped every hoop to keep it peaceful in the home. My nerves were shot. I was gaining weight. My cortisol was through the roof. I just, oh my God. It's like you hope for the best and plan for the worst and know the worst is going to actually happen. And these are men and women. And sometimes the women are worse than the men because the women can have your children. And they will tell you everything is your fault. You will start screwing up because you're living with a narcissist. You will start doing things that you feel like you're going to lose your mind. And then they will blame you and magnify that and gaslight you into making everything your fault when it's not. It's not your fault. That's who you were when they met you. They just decided they were going to manipulate and change you and make you do everything they want you to do. And they want you solely dependent on them. They're not interested in your needs or your kids' needs. They're interested in their needs. And they literally live off of tormenting you. When the world revolves around them and them alone, and it does not matter what's going on with you or your children or anybody else they should care about, there's a problem. There is a serious problem. This man was so hateful. And I reached out to his friends for help. I wanted to know what was wrong with him. No one would talk to me. No one would give me answers. Reached out to his ex-wife's sister. She wasn't helpful at all. She told me, we love him. The divorce was hard on him. It changed him. Yeah, something changed him. And you think that you love this person and that you can help this person. Now, I didn't. I'm just going to be honest with you. I knew. I hated him. I wanted him out of my life. He was Satan's spawn as far as I was concerned. I played the game. And yes, mister, if you're watching this video, I played the game to get away from you. You know, so that's how I survived, is I pulled into my own mind and tried to just behave and keep as much peace in the family as I could until I could escape. And he was good. We had about a 9-month stretch where he was sort of behaving. I mean, it made you kind of hopeful. And then, bam, it goes from an I love you text to horrible name-calling text. And it would completely, it threw me off because we'd had 9 months of somewhat peace, nothing horrible happening, which was a shock, actually. And then he went off the curve. And that's when I had to regroup and say, he's not changing at all. We got to go. The devil in him hated the God in me. He hated the church. He hated everything about the church. Would talk about all his friends, hated all his friends. If you think he is your friend, I promise you he is not. He has manipulated you and charmed you into thinking that he's your friend. But I actually had people that read all the hate text of go kill yourself, I hope COVID kills you, suck the gun and die, all because, and then they, and they have a reason for all this. Oh, they love you and they were afraid of losing you and they're insecure. Yeah, they're insecure, all right. Insecure to the point of they're dangerous. They mentally beat you senseless. And I don't know how many years people can actually live in this and survive, but I was not going to survive very long. And the day that I escaped, and yes, when I mean escaped, I escaped by calling the cavalry. Alert, alert, today is moving day. And they showed up and I moved out. Was totally packed with a 26-foot truck in 2 days. And on the third day, I left at 4:30 in the morning, drove 300 miles one way. Never looked back. And had to play the game to get the divorce paper signed. To some degree, not anything other than communication from time to time, because he was really glad to be rid of me. Yet he still wanted control of me, wanted to manipulate me, wanted me around when it was good for him, which didn't happen, which is very, very mean. But I'm here to tell you, you can do this. You can get out of this. If you're with someone that's charming you, but you sense a controlling factor, you sense a manipulating factor, talk to someone that you love. Talk to a therapist. Talk to somebody before they completely make you codependent on them. I was very lucky that I had a strong mind and I had a very close relationship with the Lord. I'd been through a lot of therapy for different reasons, and I knew this sucker was a manipulating ass. Excuse the language, but I knew he was trouble. And I knew he was never going to get any better. He was only going to get worse because I wasn't going to change who I was. And I had to pretend to be somebody else. I had to pretend to be compliant. I am not a bad person. I really did nothing wrong. You didn't have to do anything wrong. You could look the wrong way or, walk the wrong way or say the wrong way. And the cops would be called. And then he would call his mom. And so, I'd be in there washing dishes and the cops would be in the front yard. It just became such a normal way of life. And you're thinking, I've got to get out of this. And so when I recovered from my injuries and sold everything I could, oh my gosh, I couldn't get out of there fast enough. And for those of you that are watching this that know someone that's dating or in a narcissistic relationship, be their support system. Listen to them. Pay attention to them. Tell them they can get out of this. Tell them they're strong. My God, build them up. Pray for them. I had one friend that really supported me and not bringing it to my plate every day, but yet was there to listen to me when she knew I was about to boil over. She knew I was playing the game. And the therapists that I've met since I left were horrified that I was going to go back. That blew my mind because I didn't realize that most people that are empaths that are manipulated by a narcissist do go back. They don't have the strength. They've become so codependent on that person, they can't live without them. So let me just tell you something. If you want to get away from somebody because you're miserable, and all of a sudden they give you the way out, and you are too afraid to take it, or you don't think you can live without them, or you think you love them, and you think this can work, and it's all you, and you can change to make them happy, you're with a narcissist. You're with a manipulating, horrible, defective person, and you need to run. Do you hear me? And yeah, I think women are worse than men because the women can have your children, and they can have you. And then you're going to have a custody battle. I fixed it to where we owned nothing together. I did not share monies. I didn't share accounts. I was very smart in a lot of ways because I knew what I would have to do to get away from him. The only thing we had together was a house, and I was not on the mortgage, thank you, Lord. And he had financed a car, which I paid for, and all I had to do is get rid of it and get another vehicle when I got moved. And so that's exactly what I did. Quick claim deed him the house, sent it over the minute the papers were signed, and we were done. I left him in better shape than I ever found him. Do you hear me? From nothing but living on disability. And they want you on disability. They want you financially dependent on them so you can't do or go anywhere without them. And if they have you in a place where you think you can't live without them, you will do anything to stay with them. You will do exactly what they want you to do. So, if you're in a relationship and you think there's something wrong with a relationship, there usually is. And you need to look up narcissism. You need to look up, are they helping me to become a better person? Or are they manipulating me into becoming who they want me to be? Do they encourage me to be the best me I can be? Or the best robot they can fabricate in their minds? Because that's really what they want. You need to run. You need to run for everything you've got. And I'm so sorry if you're a man and your wife has children. You and your wife have children because you're in a horrible situation. They don't want you connected to your family. They want you to think you have no family. No one cares about you. They will remind you of every negative thing that's ever happened in your life and ask you why you wanted to have anything to do with them. They will want you to excommunicate everyone in your life, from your children to your parents to your best friend. They want you to excommunicate yourself. They want you cut off from the world. Okay, so I want to just remind you of this. So, and there are support groups online, in face. There's many therapists you can talk to, and you can get a better look of, are you codependent, an empath of narcissism? Because it is the most dangerous situation and relationship you can be in. Don't find yourself sleeping with a gun in each hand under the covers, waiting to see if he's going to hurt you or your children, or is she going to do something crazy, because they can do it. And if it's that bad, it's time to run. And don't think that the authorities can help you, because a lot of times they cannot. They can recommend that you leave, and when you leave, and they can cruise your home. I mean, I had them all over my house. For me, they knew. He had called them so many times. They knew him. All of his friends were cops too. They love to befriend police officers because they want to be in authority. They want to be a police officer so bad they can't see straight. So they snow all these police officers into thinking they're phenomenal when they're not. They're horrible. So, I don't know. I'm rambling a little bit, so I'm going to let you go. And I hope some way this may have helped someone.